Welcome to another 10 at 10 for 10 training and leadership development. I'm so excited to be with all of you today. We got a full house today. Appreciate y'all showing up. All right, let me just situate my screen here a little bit. I want to talk to you guys about timer creep, okay? And how we ended it. This happened recently. Let me share my screen. You may have seen a poster. Let me find it real quick. There we go. All right, pool funding creator Ace Fletcher has ended timer creep with the 4.5 hour timer. Now you can make your payments at the same time every day. Okay. Do you guys remember before I made this change that, you pretty much had to prepare yourself mentally, maybe spiritually, certainly emotionally, for the fact that at some point you're going to have to make a damn payment at 3 or 4 in the morning, because of timer creep, that it was bound to happen. So when it was only 4 hours, when all you had was a 20-hour timer and then you had a 4 hour timer, then, just to make sure that you don't, make a payment, late and then get, miss out on, maybe spend some insurance or maybe potentially risk losing your qualification or whatever. Most people would pay 10, 15 minutes before the 4 hour timer would end. And that created timer creep where every day you had to pay 10 or 15 minutes earlier than the day before, and then the day before, and the day before. And then before you know it, it's, the time that you're making your payment has moved several hours. And at some point, even if you're really good at paying really good towards the end of the 4 hour timer, you find yourself having to wake up in the middle of the night to make your payment. And, for a period of time, that actually was beneficial to all of us in pool funding, in the sense that maybe some of you would fall out of the pool because you weren't serious enough to really pay that much attention. But we have other things to pay attention to now. We're putting our attention on more important things than timers and timer creep and this kind of thing. And so we're kind of moving in a different direction. And therefore, we've added a 30-minute extension on there. Okay, so now it's a 4.5 hour timer. So first you get your 20-hour timer. Okay, there is no payment possible during that 20-hour timer. No button to push, right? That's we know if we just had the button sitting there all the time, some of you be paying it 4, 5, 10 times a day. For some crazy reason when that just doesn't work. We want there to be consistency. So more or less everybody's making one payment per day, and not this crazy people just pay whenever they want to kind of thing. That just wouldn't work. Okay. So the 20-hour timer prevents people from making a payment too early. And before it was just a 4 hour timer that gave you the remaining time. You got a 4 hour window to do something, a task that literally takes 1 minute for most of us. Most of us can in 1 minute make 3 payments, our main account or 2 sub accounts, done in a minute. 4 hours, plenty of time to do it. But the problem was that timer creep. And let's face it, this guy does look kind of creepy here. That's our little timer creep guy there, He's watching the clock. But guess what? We killed him with the light. We put light on the shadow, and guess what? The shadow goes away. All right. So the extra half an hour gives you power now. Not only can you make your payment every day at the same time, but maybe if you don't like the time that you're making the payment right now, you could push it. You could push it back 30 minutes every day. You know what I'm saying? You could just wait till the timer gets close to being done at 4.5 hours, and then make your payment. And that'll push it back 20, 30 minutes every day, and until it gets to a point where you like it. For example, if you're making your payment at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but you'd really prefer to be making your payment at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, well, one option is just keep pushing it back by making your payment at the end of that 4.5 hour period. so that it just pushes that time back, you know, another 20, 30 minutes, another 20, 30 minutes every day until you push it from 2 p.m. Upward over to 6 p.m. where you want it to be. And then you can make your payment at 6 p.m. with no stress, because you got a half an hour buffer, right? You got a half an hour buffer, no problem. You make your payment at 6 p.m. Well, then tomorrow you'll be able to make your payment again at 6 p.m. And because there's a half hour buffer there. And so even if you make your payment 5 minutes late, no penalty. You know, if you make it today at 6 and then tomorrow you make it at 6:05 and the next day you make it at 5:50, it's all around 6 p.m. And that makes it more convenient for all of you. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if you think, well, maybe I can get this to work better for me if I go the other direction, maybe you're paying your payment right now at 10 p.m. and you prefer that to be 6 p.m. Well, in one whack, you could probably get that done just by paying at the very beginning of the timer. Okay, pay right when the timer starts. So at the end of the 20-hour timer and at the beginning of the 4.5-hour timer, you can pay at the beginning, and that would push it from 10 p.m. forward to 6 p.m. if that's what you want. Okay, so now you've got the ability, because of the extra half an hour built onto this, because we didn't change time. There's still 24 hours in a day. We just changed the timer. The timer is now 24.5 hours every day, right? That's all we changed, is the timer. And that gives you the power to push it forward, push it backward, find the ideal time for you to make your payment every day, and make your payment at the time ongoing, stress-free, and should be easy for all of you, okay? Now, I want to move on to the next thing here. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about something that may or may not be that obvious to some of you. Some of you have been here for a while, but I'm going to ask you right now, if you look at pool funding, okay, the big picture, what we're doing, and you look at what we're putting out there, like, here's our offer. This is what we're offering people right now. Now, take into account everything that's happening right now. Okay, take everything into account. What do you think, guys? What is the most valuable thing that we're bringing to the table, that we're putting out there as an offer? Who would like to take a stab at that? Who would like to tell me what they think that is? What is the most valuable thing right now that we're putting out there for people to have it, to have access to?
Getting funding without having to pay it back.
Well, I mean, yes, that's the whole point of pool funding, and that's our concept, and that's but what I'm kind of referring to is like, let's think of it like
Personal freedom.
Time.
Time freedom.
okay. I see where you guys are going. I'm thinking more of the mechanics, like, I'm trying to point out how fancy our engine is, right? You guys are just talking about how cool it is to have a car, But yeah, having a car is cool, being a part of pool funding and having access to funds you don't have to pay back and all that. Great. But I think a lot of people think that the pool, as far as like the engine and all this, it goes, they think the pool itself is the most valuable thing that we have to offer, and it's not. I mean, we're still going, and even though our pool is, I certainly wouldn't want to stake my life on the pool paying me tomorrow, right? Because we know it doesn't pay every day. Okay, it doesn't. We've got plenty of people.
Unity.
We got plenty of people. I like that, unity. But let me tell you what the most valuable thing that we have to offer, and this is powerful. In fact, if people get talking about the pool, we should redirect them to talk about what I'm going to share now. Okay, so people talking about the pool say, you know what, that's cool, but let me tell you something better than that, and that's the switch. Okay, what we're offering, is like an amazing thing. And in a word, it's the switch. Okay, now what am I talking about when I say it's the switch? Well, that when you guys make a payment, when you push that button, okay, you're not sending money to me. I know I created this thing. I know I put this thing out there into the universe. Okay, yeah, this is my deal, right? But you're not sending money to me when you push that button. Have you noticed that? You're not sending it to me. Not unless I happen to be next in line in the pool or something like that. But other than that, you're not sending it to me. But with other things out there, you are sending it generally off to some central place, right? And then some, shenanigans happen and some runs off the money and then everybody's like crying. We've seen that how many times? I mean, it's crazy how many times that scenario pops up. And sometimes it's on purpose and sometimes it was unintentional by the people who started something, but one of their employees, got in and it's called, there's a word for that, embezzlement, right? That happens. It doesn't just happen in home-based businesses, but it also happens in corporations, right? Embezzlement, right? We've seen that. So, but that switch. So part of that switch is the fact that when you push that button, a payment's being made, it doesn't go centrally to somewhere, and then that is a big pot of money, and then it gets redistributed, whatever. No, we're decentralized. So the switch is going to do this, guys. It's either going to pay someone in the pool or it's going to pay a qualified sponsor, right? That's what the switch does. Okay. And why is that so valuable? The more people you plug into the switch, the richer you're going to get. Okay. I'm telling you, right? Getting people on the switch, not on the pool, on the switch, right? So if you're talking to people and they're talking about the pool and frankly, right now you could have a positive conversation about the pool. Equally, you could have a negative conversation about the pool. Equally, I mean, it's kind of like depends on your point of view. But on the other hand, the switch, if you really truly understand the power of this switch, it's only positive. You can only see it from a positive point of view. There's nothing negative about the switch. The switch is going to make you rich. Plugging people into the switch, introducing people to us so they can get on the switch. Okay? Because what happens is when you're qualified, then every time your people push that button, that payment goes from their wallet to your wallet. And doesn't matter if it's $10, $100, $1,000, doesn't matter. Goes right to your wallet. The more people that you get to do that, the richer you're going to get, right? So a little bit of setting people up to begin with, and it becomes habitual, a daily habit of your little team that you build, 2, 3, 4 people, maybe more. But the more that you plug into that switch, so I hope you see how valuable that switch is. That is like the supercharged engine of like a hot race car. You know what I'm saying? It is cool, right? And we offer that. And I think it's cooler than the pool. The pool's awesome, but let's face it, the pool is something we should just be grateful for. Anytime the pool favors us any particular day, just be grateful, If it doesn't favor you on some days, get over it. Because the flow of that there's a lot of variables. But that switch, there's no variable. They press the button, boom, to the qualified sponsor. If the sponsor's not qualified, it goes to the next person in the pool. Okay? Question for you guys. If your sponsor quits and you make your payment every day, where's that payment going to?
A pool.
Their sponsor.
It goes to the
Hmm.
pool forever.
Hmm.
So yeah, some people are going to quit. Sometimes your sponsor is going to quit. Some people get involved with opportunities and their sponsor quits and like, oh, my sponsor quit. I guess I'm going to quit too. You know what I'm saying? But the way we're structured, hey, if your sponsor quit, yeah, I'm just helping the pool out. I'm paying the pool now, right?
Yeah.
You see the point? And that people are going to quit. It's going to happen, guys. We can't get emotional about that either. We don't attach yourself too much to outcomes and just be more attached to processes. Okay. All right. I might be taking too long here, but I got a couple more points. I'm going to see if I have time for that. Well, let me shrink my screen down for some reason. There we go. Now I can do it. All right, yeah, this is important. Oh boy, this is super important. Okay. Now, got to move on to the next point here. Okay. Okay, so let me ask you guys. You know, everything goes through phases, right? There's there's a phase for this and a phase for that. You know, if we're talking about our kids, they start out as babies, then they turn into toddlers, right? Then they turn into, I don't know if you want to call them preteens, and then you have the teenager, right? And then you have the young adult, right? And then hopefully they grow up and be a grown up. You know what I'm saying? That's what we hope, at least. So there's phases, right? Everything's got phases. Well, what phase do you think pool funding is in right now? What phase?
Toddler.
Phase one.
Phase one, toddler. Okay.
Baby.
Beginning stages.
What's that?
We're in infants.
Infant. Okay. All right. This is good. But I'm looking for something specific, and I'll tell you what it is. We're in early adoption. Okay. My vision for pool funding is 1 billion people in pool funding. Okay. Maybe more. But 1 billion. I see this going to 1 billion people. And we're going to have a lot more to offer than just, assurance and, monthly payment to access a pool. We'll have more to offer the bigger we get, But listen, we're in early adoption. And early adopters, they get, certain, cool stuff, if you will. There's some cool stuff to be an early adopter, but there's some downside to it as well. I'll be honest with you. But we're in early adoption. Let me ask you guys a question. Can you all just say yes really loud if you've ever purchased anything from the company Amazon? Just say yes really loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 I think probably most of you said yes. All right. Now, how many of you purchased books from Amazon back when that was the only thing they offered? Just say yes.
I did.
So
I
Matt,
did.
who was that? Matt and who?
I do.
Kathleen and Matt.
Yes.
And that's it? The two of you?
I did.
And Susie. Okay. So the three of you bought books from Amazon when that was the only thing they offered. Okay. Look how far Amazon has come. We all know Jeff Bezos worked inside his garage, inside the home he resided in, a regular type home, by the way, not a mansion. Okay. He worked in his garage for a long time, just selling books on the brand Amazon. That's how it all began, right?
Yep.
But he had a vision, right? He knew what he's doing ahead of time. Now, I don't know if there's anything he can't sell. I think you can almost find anything on Amazon. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See how it works? Early adoption, just books with Amazon. Look how big it got. Went from a guy's garage, right? I mean, think about it. Crazy little business. Guy, tinkering around on his computer, all day, all night, doing orders. His first warehouse was the back part of his garage. That was his first warehouse.
Yeah.
And then it grew from there. Okay. So we are in early adoption, and it's actually a good thing, So just realize we have a road ahead of us. Now, that being the case, we're in an early adoption. Do you think that we're the ideal fit for everyone right now? If we take 100% of the population, is pool funding in early adoption a perfect fit for 100% of the population today? Yes or no?
No.
No is the
No.
correct. No is the correct answer. No is the correct answer. Okay. So we must be thinking to ourselves, well, okay, if that's true, I mean, right now, if you're going to buy something from Amazon, I would say pretty much 100% of the world population is probably, interested in what Amazon has to offer. Okay. They grew up to that, right? Now, We'll do the same thing. But what is the trait? What would you say is the ideal thing, the ideal trait of a person that we want to bring them into pool funding to move us forward faster? What do you think that trait is? The one
The
thing.
need, the need for
Persistent.
funding. The need for funding.
Everybody has a need for
Pers-
funding, so that's universal. Not that.
Desire.
The trait that's gonna these people are special. Okay. The trait that will move pool funding forward faster. You're gonna be so surprised what the answer is. Okay. But I've got a lot of experience doing this, guys, and I know the answer to this. I'm just gonna tell it to you. I don't think any of you are gonna guess. You're gonna be so surprised. The trait that really is powerful right now in early adoption is we're looking for people that are dissatisfied. That's the trait. The more dissatisfied the person is, the more they're going to be interested in pool funding. Okay? Because a dissatisfied person is looking for a solution, and they're willing to overlook all of our jaggedy edges of being the early adoption phase. You know, they're going to accept our warts that we have in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? They're going to accept it, right? Because we offer a real solution, but they don't care that we're new. They don't care that the pool doesn't pay every 20 hours. They don't care. They see that switch as being super powerful, and it's going to change their life. They have control over a switch that they can share with as many people as they want to, and all the people that accept it and they cling onto that switch, that makes them rich. It's the switch that makes you rich. Everybody say it with me. It's the switch that makes you rich.
Switch that makes you rich.
It's the switch that makes you rich.
Which
All right.
makes you rich.
You got to get people plugged into that switch and see a dissatisfied person is going to get it. And then go, damn, this is easy compared to other things. They're dissatisfied for a reason. Okay. They've been left behind somehow, some way. And the funny thing is, look out in the world. How many dissatisfied people are there in the world?
Millions and trillions.
So many of them, so many, right? It's the majority, right? But I tell you what, the more dissatisfied they are, the more motivated they come into pool funding, because when you're really hurting, when your dissatisfaction is to the point where you're losing sleep, you just got that stress, and you just ache for relief. You just want some relief from this dissatisfaction. Those people that have that much discomfort, when they come into pool funding, they're going to go. Okay. So keep your eye out for people who are dissatisfied, and the more dissatisfied they are, you got a highly motivated person. We just need to train them. Okay. And that's what this is all about. And I want to thank you all for coming to the training today. And those of you tuning in on YouTube, you're always welcome to come back here every day and check for another video. There'll probably be one. Until next time, bye for now.
Excellent.